Okay. Hello. Happy Monday. Let me get this stuff up. All right. Hi, Dad. All right. Make separate piles because I was trying to do my video about Lou, but I could not do it because I don't know, something is weird with my phone, and I just did a video yesterday that was a half an hour long, and it did just fine, and I uploaded it and I deleted, and then today I went to go do a video about Lou, and my phone says it only has 10 minutes of recording time. So I've been trying to figure it out, and I still haven't quite gotten it. It's annoying. So that video about Lou has not been uploaded, even though I have everything. I feel like I'm sufficiently prepared to do it. It's not quite there yet. And that's why I'm trying to do it. So I was thinking what I might do is do a live video where it's unlisted so that none of you get to see it, which would mean I feel kind of bad. But hi, Ash. Battery is only 8%. That's okay, honey. Hi, Ravenheart. So none of you get to see it, but that way I don't get distracted and I actually get through it, and I don't have to worry about how much memory is on my stupid phone. So it will be done and uploaded tonight, no matter what. Even if I have to do a live unlisted to start out with and then list it afterwards. It's just driving me crazy. It's a Monday, you know? Okay, so hi, Katie, Owls, Perch, Ayla. Hi, Ayla, you haven't been here for a while. How you doing, honey? Alyssa, hi. Stephen, Trisha, Lee, hello. Liana, Daniel. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that. Ravenheart and Sean is here. Hi, Brandy and Ash. All right, so how's everybody else's Monday? It is the last, yes, it's the last Monday of retrograde, so that should help. I feel bad, Janice, you can go take a nap. Hi, Spirit. Yeah, so hopefully the last Monday of retrograde. So hopefully things will start to get better again. I know. It's once again, it wasn't supposed to be all that bad for me. And it's communication-wise, it always throws me for a loop. But I think because your glasses broke, oh no. It's not the last day. It's the last Monday. But it's not the last day. Bartending in New York, and no one is here, so while I was cleaning, I figured I'd see what was new on your page. Yay! Oh, well, I am so happy that you're here. Where in New York? Are you in New York City, or are you, somewhere in the suburbs, or... Hi, Sarana. All right, so, Pearl River. Oh, I don't know that one. Rockland County. Okay, I gotcha. So close anyway to the city. Yeah, so, let's see. We are 1, 2, 3, so 4 days away from Mercury being out of retrograde. And Lughnasadh, we start celebrating Lughnasadh on Wednesday night. Hi, Leolyn. And the black moon is Wednesday night. At 11:12 Eastern Standard Time. So it's like everything is kind of coming together. Hi, Karen. I'm so tired. Yeah, right? Me too. I will say that Stephen made a good observation right before I came on. I thought, oh, that's true. If any of you were at the readings, the free readings last night, we pulled the Hanged Man, I don't know, like it seemed like 20 times. It was ridiculous. It was crazy how many times we pulled that. And he said, maybe it's because, Lou is supposed to be John Barleycorn. And since he gets cut down in the field and hung up to dry and stuff, maybe that's why we were pulling the Hanged Man, is because it's almost Lughnasadh. I thought, that's interesting. I didn't even make that correlation. But yes, absolutely, that could have been part of the whole holiday spirit coming through, for sure. Okay, so I did want to talk about Lughnasadh again, just because there's so much information about Lughnasadh that's out there. The God Lugh, I'm going to save that and do that as a separate video where I'm not distracted because, Mama Squirrel. But Lughnasadh itself, I wanted to do another video and talk a little bit more about the Sabbath of Lughnasadh, and also how I look at all the different rituals that are in all of my books and all that kind of stuff, and how I decide what to put into my own ritual. So let's talk about the ritual phase of it first. I will tell you that there's really two different kinds of rituals that you're going to want to think about. What kind of ritual am I doing? The major categories are solitary. So if you're a solitary witch, you're only doing a ritual that is between you and the god and goddess, the Lord and Lady. Then that's a solitary ritual. And it's a way different ritual than if you're looking at having more people come over and be involved in the ritual. So that's the first thing that you look for. Is this a solitary ritual? Am I going to be all alone? Hi, Hexen. Or am I going to do a ritual like with coven work, which would just mean more than one person? So, like for instance, I used to do ritual with my family, which would include my husband and usually two of the kids, two of the boys. And so I would look at coven work, and you just kind of tweak it to make it your own. So I can't even tell you. I'll show you this. See that bookshelf there? The top two shelves of that bookcase are mostly books with rituals in it. It's specific Sabbath books. I have whole books on specific Sabbaths. And then other like ritual books that have a whole bunch of rituals in there. So when I go hunting for what kind of feeling I want for my ritual, very often I'll have 10 books that I'm looking through to decide what do I feel like the theme of this season or the Sabbath this year is. What do I want to really hone in on? How am I feeling about this season? You do not have to have any books at all, because the internet is such a huge source of information that just on my Pinterest page, I will tell you that I have an entire Pinterest board of each Sabbath. So for Lughnasadh, there's an entire board on there. And so I put some rituals that I've tried before, or I liked certain pieces of it. I don't think I have ever taken a ritual, though, from a book and done that ritual word for word from top to bottom. I liked everything about it. Thank you. I know I spent a lot of time on my Pinterest pages, and I still do. I still add a whole bunch. Like, for instance, if you look, there's a board called Altars, and that is also broken down into each Sabbath. So, and several others. So there's like an outdoor altar board, and then a Lughnasadh altar board, and Beltane altar board and all that kind of stuff. And there's also, like, I have a board for magical recipes, and that also has like Sabbat recipes on there. All right, I'm on the big screen. So I'll tell you, when I start to think about what kind of ritual I want to be doing, I will start by pulling some of my favorite books that I know I liked the rituals before in it. It is like the quest from Lord of the Rings. That's true. Yes, absolutely. The Fae are still around until Samhain. So when Samhain comes, that is the first holiday that I kind of say goodbye to the Fae. And because to me, it's like the other part, the opposite end of the other world is open. I'm on big screens all over. Yay! So the first thing I usually do is pull some of my books and start looking through those rituals. And I start by getting rid of the ones that I'm like, I don't love that one. Sometimes they're way too formal for me. Sometimes there's a lot of rituals that you will find that have very formal, high priestess says this, the high priest says this, there's another person that has some big title that says this. And for me, I don't go into all the big title things. That's not to say that I never do a ritual that says the high priestess says this. I just kind of tweak it so it's, in my voice instead of, the formal things that you'll find sometimes. So I usually start by trying to find a feeling of, okay, I kind of like the way this ritual is going. I kind of like some of the themes in this ritual. So I'll gather up at least 2 or 3 different rituals out of my books, out of Pinterest. I will print them off. My Pinterest is under Jennifer Willowwind Storelli, I believe. Thank you, Marge. And I will tell you that one of the first things that I look for is I really like to make the circle call. So calling each of the elements, the 4 directions, individualized based on the Sabbat that we're looking at. So I really start out by looking at the circle call. Hi, Ellison. You need a good ritual this year? I'm feeling it too. I think this is going to be a good Lughnasadh. So I found online, actually, I already, like weeks ago, I was looking and I already found the circle call that I really liked that kind of gives, what's the word I'm looking for? Thank you, retrograde, for almost being over. It gives honor to each of the elements, but it still talks about the harvest and stuff within it. Thank you, Stephen. Hi, Cackling Hag. There's my Pinterest page right there. So I'll tell you the one that I like for this year, and I will post once I finish typing up, hopefully, not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm at the main office, so it will not be until Wednesday that I get this typed up. Because tomorrow I'm at the main office. Good. Hi, Trevor. Hi, Melanie. So the one that I liked for this year, at least the circle call one, is from a Lammas ritual from Lady Bridget and Lady Therese from 1997. Trevor, yes, Lee, I found out that Trevor is Earthy Phantom Seeker, and I didn't connect the two before, but yesterday I did. So now I'm calling him Trevor. So I really, really liked this circle call. So I'm going to read it so that you guys can decide if you like it. Then I will include this in the ritual that we're doing together on Wednesday night, which, by the way, I will not be alone. I just found out that Cassandra is going to be able to come. So that's awesome. Hi, Amethyst. So it says, as the wheel turns yet another notch. So you can think about the circle. The circle is around. We have everything set up inside. So this is the call that I really like to start it out. As the wheel turns yet another notch, we gather with those we love to celebrate the first harvest. We celebrate the corn mother and the God of the grain. This is a time of abundance and a time we will reap what we have sown. You go to the east for water. All hail to thee, guardian of the watchtowers of the east, the powers of water. The rivers and streams that nourished the harvest, fed our emotions, and helped to ripen all that we are about to reap. Let us drink deeply of the honesty of our friendships. We, the children of the harvest, invite you to join our Sabbath. So mote it be. So that's the east. Whoops. Then, I don't know why I flipped the page. Almost all of them are right there. That's okay, Ravenheart. I know it. You guys got to work. Sometimes it happens. Not very many people take off for the Sabbath like I do. I try to take off for most Sabbaths. There's a couple that I don't usually, but. Oh, yes. See, west is water. I'm so glad. See, now a lot of people change the directions, and for a lot of people, east is water to them. It's not for me. So thank you, Hexen. I'm glad you said that. Oh my gosh. And for them, south is air. No. West is fire for them. No. South. How weird. I'm so glad you said that. North is still earth, but every other one was all screwy. Depends on the tradition. Yes, it does depend on the tradition, for sure. Yes. That is definitely not the one that I connect with, but that's okay. Okay, so then the east, we go to the east for air. All hail to thee, guardian of the watchtower of the east. East. The powers of air, the gentle breezes that make the fields dance, as well as the thunderstorms, hurricanes that energize the atmosphere and us. Inspire us to reap the benefits of all that have sown in our lives. We, the children of the harvest, invite you to join in our Sabbath, so mote it be. So that's the east, which is air. Then we go to the south, which is fire. All hail to thee, guardians of the watchtowers of the south. The powers of fire. The warmth and strength of the summer sun brings forth the abundance of this sultry season. Give us the courage to take that which we have wanted and fought for in our lives. We, the children of the harvest, invite you to join in our Sabbath, so mote it be. In the tradition, it took me a long time to remember correspondences in tarot because my tradition, wands are air, swords are fire. See, a lot of people do that. That Barb girl, I do not memorize anything. I am just not that with it. Now, I suppose if I had a formal coven, that I was actually a high priestess of a formal coven, I might memorize it. I might not. It is okay to read it. It doesn't do anything, like it doesn't lessen the ritual any more or less. I can tell you the people who were at Tarot Stock and we did ritual and I presided over the ritual, I don't think that reading it did anything bad to that ritual at all. And yes, lots of people do, for sure. In the tradition of Scott Cunningham, my first teacher, wands belong to air and Athame to fire. Yeah, it stuck with me that way too, for sure. Many people, yes. Yeah, I'd never be able to memorize the whole thing. Hi, Yvette. No, you didn't. Even Catholic priests have to read the Mass from the book on the altar. Exactly. That's right. Exactly. And I don't think that that it takes away from the ritual at all. I really don't. I've never seen that. It, distracts anyone, really. I'll tell you that I'm comfortable with it. I definitely read it over several times so that I kind of am comfortable with it. But again, with the way I do ritual, I don't want it to be so formal. I started out when I was younger and I didn't really know how, like, I had nothing to go by as to how other people do ritual or how I felt about ritual. I kind of was doing the book thing, and I'll tell you that I used to get upset. So anything would happen that would be off script, and I'd be like, oh wait, I forgot I was going to do this, and it would screw me all up. But I tell this story about my kids being involved in the ritual and us carrying out the loaves of bread, which we had made into wicker men, I believe. I'm sure I probably changed that. It might be Beltane too. I can't remember which one. But they had penises because we were carrying them out, and one of the penises fell off, and my son started laughing hysterically. And I was like, no, you can't laugh. We're trying to do a ritual. It's very serious. And I will never forget, my husband said, Jen, it's supposed to be a celebration. Big deal. It's not like the gods and goddesses are upset because they're laughing. They're having a good time. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. They are having a good time. And ever since then, if something happens, that's okay. You just roll with it. That's life. Sometimes not everything is scripted perfectly and not everything goes perfect. And as long as you are flexible and willing to go with the flow, I've seen some incredibly beautiful things happen in the middle of ritual that if I was really worried about each step of the ritual just this way, I would have missed that. For instance, the ritual that I did, that I had a stag and 2 does come up right onto the edge of my property line and start watching me doing ritual. And I didn't notice at first. It was in the middle of the night, and I heard his snort. He kind of went, Pooh! And I looked up, and there was a stag and his 2 does, and they just watched me doing ritual. And I so would have missed that had I been trying to just concentrate on exactly how the words went and everything. And that is one of my favorite rituals to date, just because I felt like, the horned god came and said, yep, this is a good ritual. And that was like one of the best rituals I've ever had. And I would have missed that, So you kind of have to be able to go with the flow a little. Okay, so then we're going to do north, which is earth. All hail to thee, guardian of the watchtowers of the north, the powers of earth, cornerstone of all elements, sand and granite, quartz and crystal, from the fertile fields to the cool woodlands. Bring us your steadfast power. We, the children of the harvest, invite you to join in our Sabbath. So mote it be. So, to me, that was the best calling of the elements that I had found, that I really liked the way that it brought the harvest in, and I liked the, we children of the harvest, and so it's really giving honor to the harvest and stuff. So that's kind of how I do it. I will set up, 3, 4, 5 different rituals. Hi, you. And kind of take from this ritual, this part of the ritual that I really liked, and I didn't really like that part, so I leave that part. And if you go back to my beginner series, we talk about what are the parts of the ritual. And so, Trisha, I do ritual with my niece and nephews, so it never goes as planned. The only time I worry about things going right is when I'm in ritual with the Fae, as they can be easily offended. Exactly. And the one that we did for Litha was with the Fae, and I was a little worried because the flames did not go out when I went to release the Fae. And it was the first time I had called the Fae into the circle. And then I found out later that all of my mint, I had to get rid of all of my mint this year because it got a parasite on all of my mint. And I thought, oh, that was the Fae. Because it was right after that we figured it out. But anyways, absolutely. Work is done, home time, yay! The local group I joined for ritual used that call. Perfect, that's awesome. Fairies and Virgos. Do you create your own tarot spreads for each Sabbath? I do sometimes. I do sometimes, absolutely, Ayla. I was thinking about that specifically for Lughnasadh. Because I was looking at some of the Lughnasadh spreads and I liked some of them. But not, I don't know. I didn't like all the questions for all of them. So I was thinking about making up my own for sure. So anyways, you just really think about what parts of the ritual you want to make a part of your ritual. And start with the calling of the elements, the calling of the quarters. Then you go to the calling in the god and goddess. And very often, the god and goddess are good because they're in the same vein. If you like the calling of the quarters, very often with, hi Shamara, with the inviting the Lord and Lady, that is good too. You also like it. And that's the case with this one. I like this one a lot. So this is inviting the Lord and Lady. It says Our Lady of Lammas, which for me is Lughnasadh. And it's nothing against Lammas. You can use whichever one you're comfortable with, whichever one you like better. It just means loaf mass. For me, I can't get it out of my head, though, that is a very Catholic thing for me. Because the Catholics used that August 1st as the day to go out and bless the fields. Because they really, again, they took up the pagan traditions and the pagan dates of our Sabbats and wanted to get as many people as they could to transfer over to Catholicism or Christianity. And so they kind of tweaked a whole bunch of our stuff. So do you think they were offended or just want to show you they were there? I don't think they were offended. I think that they are specifically they're just mischievous that way. Oh, Maurice. Okay, so shoot. Maurice, I'm not really doing readings tonight, but because you gave $2, do you have Facebook, Maurice? Because if you want to Facebook me, I can pull a couple quick cards for you, okay? But is it at the same time as the black moon? Yes, absolutely. And so, because of that, there will be some specific things written into this about the black moon for sure, into this ritual. Absolutely. So Our Lady of Lughnasadh, you provide us with seed for sowing. You reward us with fields for reaping. Bring forth upon the labored land sprouted legions of the staff of life. Grain-giving goddess, mother of all harvests, we rejoice before you for these first fruits of the field, the baked bounty of freshly made bread and the hops-laden ale of August. May your intuitive wisdom be with us. Let your love now flow through this, your priestess, and throughout the circle. Come and bless your hidden children of the harvest. Blessed be. I love that. That calling to the goddess. I think that's just great. Then, mighty Lord of Day, now going into the dying corn. This is your wake, Lu, the Sun King, which I do not agree with calling him the Sun King because that's been disputed, but we can talk about that later if you want. You have reached your consummation of power at solstice, and now you go into the corn and grain. Your energy is poured forth into the body of Mother Earth, whose fruitful bounty will nourish our lives. We call you forth in our need for your brilliance, strength, and vitality, for you are the vital half of the life force, which brings us completeness. May we carry your brightness always within. Let that energy now flow through your priestess and throughout this circle. Come and bless your hidden children of the harvest. Blessed be. So isn't that really nice? I really like that, Lord and Lady calling. So this is how I create my own ritual, though. There are times where I will write my own quarters, calling quarters. If I can't find one that I think is the right feeling for me, I can write my own. There are times that I write a poem to read to the Lord and Lady or to the Horned God specifically, or depending on, what kind of shoot. Sorry, Maurice. Depending on what kind of Sabbath it is. And Maurice, again, if you are on Facebook and you want to private message me, Jennifer Willowwind Storelli, I will pull a couple cards for you, honey. I don't do readings that way, but I do readings, yes, on my Etsy page, which you can find on my Etsy page down below. Thank you, Hexen. I appreciate it, honey. So, and then I go on down through what I would consider a typical ritual. And what do I want to include in this Lughnasadh ritual? How do I know for Lughnasadh, because Lu was very much a god of all things. He was very good at a lot of things. So there's a lot of games involved usually with the Lughnasadh ritual. There's a lot of, I always bring out, I was talking about, where happened to my music stuff? Oh, it's back there. I was talking about all of my instruments, that I bring out my instruments and we kind of can do some instrument work and percussion work in the circle. And because Lu is a master of all, I'll tell that story when I do my Lu video tonight. And so in this way, we get through the entire ritual until we get to the end. And really, to me, when I know, okay, I have most of it, I make sure I have some kind of cakes and ale, which to pagans really means the offering. So we do an offering for the Lord and Lady. We make sure there's, an offering that goes with the Sabbath. So with this, Sabbath specifically, I always make sure, I usually have like cornbread or honey bread, because there's a lot of wheat involved, or corn. The drink can it's probably best to have beer. I hate beer, but because it's, barley and wheat grain, actually beer is like the best thing to have for this. It's okay, Marge. It's not a big deal, honey. It's like, I hate to say it, but it's like $2, so it's okay. I will certainly answer his question if he wants to get a hold of me on Facebook, no problem. But it would be different if it was like, $15 or something. But mead is based on honey, so that to me really speaks more about Litha and Beltane a little. But absolutely, mead can be used for that too. Just whatever speaks to the holiday for you. For Lughnasadh, don't forget that we're talking about a lot of different whatever's in harvest this season. So berries, so you could have like raspberry wine, or raspberry juice, or blackberry juice, or something that goes along with. Oh, as a matter of fact, it's not raining. I was going to go out and try to get my blackberries. I saw them on the bottom drive. So you could, have any of that. And then you want to make sure you have a good closing when that's done, which, again, very often, if you can find calling quarters that you like, normally the greeting for the Lord and Lady, and then the letting go the circle usually is very appropriate too. So thank the Lord and Lady for coming. So they do that, and then they dismiss the watchtowers. You did finish that entire bottle that night. I think I still have that bottle too. And then I will take several things from each ritual, put them together into a nice fashion that kind of flows really nicely for me, and add in whatever it is that I want to add in. That, like this one for Lughnasadh, there's a hint of gratitude. I always put gratitude into my Lughnasadh ritual because it's the first harvest. We're really talking about the sacrifice of the God when he lays down his life and he allows himself to be put back into the soil, which will feed it the nutrients that it needs to then come back up in the spring. So there's a kind of a mystical feeling of gratitude, which is never let go of their bottles. I know, I swear, I'm pretty sure, I think I can almost see it from here. I think it's up there. So the other thing that happens very often, and eventually I will have, who are the 4 children of Horus? Well, that is, okay, if you're Egyptian-based pagan, usually the 4 sons of Horus are used in the quarter calling. That's true. If I was using an Egyptian-based thing, absolutely. And that's something to think about. It's funny, with Lughnasadh, I always kind of go back to my Celtic roots. And Egyptian stuff I do for other holidays usually, but definitely there's a big... I can do... I'm going to... Because my Egyptian stuff is all over there other than up on my top shelf here. I can talk about some of that, the 4 sons of Horus, and how the Egyptians view this time of year also. I probably will put it in a separate video, though. Hi, Jennifer B. Yes, that's why you have a whole cabinet of wine bottles. What was I saying? Oh, I wish I had a whole coven, and someday I will have a whole coven, I think, because I'm going to start my commune, damn it, and you're all coming to move here. But it would be nice to have an actual fair, because a lot of Lou's holiday has to do with actual games. There was games that they played, kind of like the Olympics, where they had feats of strength. We are your coven. I know, but we can't exactly do like feats of strength games and a fair, which is really what I would love to do. In Ireland, they have a couple days of, they do like, there's different fairs in each county. They do the Puck Fair is in County Kerry. They do like Scarborough Fair, Paul Simon and Garfunkel. Simon and Garfunkel. That song is about that time of year because there's a fair called Scarborough Fair. And so there's lots of stuff that happens. Why did you ask if I bought that salt? Was a bad idea in getting it? No, I wrote it right down as soon as you said it too. Let me tell you why. So Hexen went and found this salt. Yes, we definitely need to get it going. Hi, Groon. And yes, Highland Games. Absolutely. The Highland Games came from Lou's fair, from the games that Lou played. Absolutely. Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Kilts and muscles. Yes. Isn't that awesome, Deb? Oh. Yes, absolutely. So Hexen got salt, and we were talking about how in the salt that he bought, someone had put in what looked like chamomile and cornflowers, because they were like those bright blue flowers. And I was reading in my research about Lugh. It said the god of the harvest is the green man, also known as John Barleycorn. He sacrifices himself every year in order to enable human life on earth. In some areas, his death is mourned with wreaths decorated with poppies or cornflowers. So that is a very specific nod to John Barleycorn. That's what they put wreaths of cornflowers around the different mounds Ireland to honor John Barleycorn for laying down his life. So I thought that was so cool. Yes, I know, it is a great song. All right, now there was something else that was said before the Highland Games that I was going to mention something. Space is looking awesome. Thank you. I like your interpretation of how gratitude is a theme of this Sabbath. Absolutely. No problem, Ayla. And you guys steal whatever you want. That's what I'm here for. Hi, Caitlin. Well, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Yes, it was meant for you to find just in time for this Sabbath. Absolutely. For sure. I used to play the drums in bagpipe band. Lots of men in kilts. How awesome would that be, right? Well, welcome, and welcome, Adria. Till I seen men in kilts in my peripheral vision, right? I know it. That's like the best sight ever is men in kilts. I don't care what anybody says. It is. Okay, so there's a whole theme of fairs and games and feats of strength. And the point of that was, and I hate to talk about Lou very much because the video I'm going to upload on Lou tonight is really all about Lou. But one of the stories about Lou is that when he went to the king of the Tuatha De Danann, hi Tiffany, he went to get in and he said, do you have a god of smithcraft? And they said, yes, we have a god of smithcraft. We don't need smithcraft. And he said, okay, do you have a god of bard work, of song? Yes, we have a god of song. Do you have a god of all this other stuff? Do I have it here? Somewhere. But he listed off all this thing, and they all said, yes, we have a god of that already. You can only come in if you can be the god of one of these crafts. And he said, yes, but do you have a god that can do all of them? And they said, oh, well, no, we don't. So that's when his godship came into play with the Tuatha De Danann, because he was able to do them all. So he was worshipped throughout Ireland and many of the other Celtic lands because of his ability to do all kinds of different things. So when they decided to play the Highland Games, and there's another word for it, the fairs, with all the different games, it was to honor the fact that Lou could do so many different things. So it had crafts, it had feats of strength, it had, all kinds of different games involved with it because Lou was the god of all of them. Okay, so what did I miss? Hold on. I was driving, just got home, listening in the car. Oh my God, Outlander, Jamie in a kilt. Oh my goodness, you are not kidding. Outlander, I cannot wait till it comes back. I have to say, I still love Outlander and I will watch it no matter what, but I think the first 2 seasons were so good that the last season to me was like, it was okay. It seemed a little short to me, and I don't know, maybe it wasn't like not enough Jamie, but no, not really, Lee. You're okay. It stresses me out. Yeah, I know. It stresses me out too. Lou of the long arm. Absolutely. Yes. Has unusually long arms. And Lou of the long arm, that came from his staff. He has an unusually long staff that supposedly never missed. It, you never heard of Outlander? Oh my goodness, Trevor. It's a series on Stars. I know, I can't miss Outlander either. Hi, Tammy. That is amazing. It's about a woman who gets, she goes to Standing Stones. Oh, I wouldn't read the book first. I would watch the series first. I always say I will not read the book until the series comes out, because to me the book is always better. And so then I'm always disappointed by the series. But if I like the TV series first and then I read the book, it just deepens my understanding of the series. There is a gathering Saturday for this. Perfect. That's awesome. Perfect. Okay. Irish mythology. The Lughnasadh festival is said to have been begun by the god Lugh as a funeral feast and an athletic competition in commemoration of his mother or foster mother, Tialtu. Tialtu was the woman who raised him. And again, I hate to get into a whole bunch of Lugh stuff because this is all going to be on my Lugh video later on tonight. But Tialtu raised him because his grandfather was trying to kill him because he didn't want to be killed. Then there was a prophecy that his grandson would kill him. So he got sent away to a foster family who was great to him. But his foster mother, Tialtu, was said to have died of exhaustion after she cleared the plains of Ireland, all of the plains of Ireland, for grain, for planting grain. And she cut down all of the fields and plowed them, got them ready to accept seed, and then she laid down and died. And so they honored Tialtu. Lugh started the festival, and they honored Tialtu with this festival. Right. What else? So the rest of that, I don't really want to get into a whole lot, like I said, of Lugh, because I have so much to get into with the Lugh video specifically. I couldn't watch the series because the guy they cast as Jamie didn't fit the image I had of him from the description of the book. See? Now, Shamara, that's what I'm saying. That's why I will not read the next book. It's, yes, actually it is on Netflix now. Outlander is. Yes. I would not read the books until the series catches up because I don't want to hate the series. I want to be able to enjoy the series and then just get the series enriched like I can enrich the TV show by reading the books. And yeah, sometimes I hear you. That happened with me with The Stand by Stephen King. I read The Stand way before the series came out, and I loved the books. And then when the whatever you want to call it, the short series or whatever, I was like, oh, this is so much better in the books. And same thing with Firestarter. I did that with Firestarter too, so I try not to. I believe it is on Netflix. I don't know about the new stuff though. It's got to be. I bet you it is. Yes, absolutely. Make a specific oil and incense for ritual, definitely. For sure. When you look at the, when you look at the correspondences for Lughnasadh, which I swear I have here someplace. Basil, frankincense, rose, rosemary, sandalwood, apple leaf, blackthorn, clover, goldenrod, heather, ivy, marigold, peony, poppy, rose, rose hips, rosemary, sunflower, vervain, and yarrow, and oak. So if you, just whatever you have of those, kind of put them together in something that you think will be pleasing. Hi, Thomas. And put them together and make that into an incense and or an oil. Usually I have an oil for before you enter the circle. I bless you with an oil, and it's a sacred oil for that Sabbath. So absolutely I'll be doing that again this year. For sure. What are we at? Ooh, we're under an hour. We're doing good. Okay. Any other questions about trying to put together a ritual for yourself? Like I said, now, here's some other things before I take questions. Sorry. There's some little things that you can do. Let's say you don't have a whole lot of time to create a ritual and go through the an entire ritual. There's lots of things, guys, that you can do just to honor for yourself. last minute things that you can do to honor Lou or Lammas or, you know, however you want to think of this holiday. You can bake bread or a cake to celebrate the harvest. You can go apple or berry picking. You can make some jelly to preserve the fruits that you find. You can donate something that you don't need. So we're talking about the first harvest. That means we're kind of pulling in some of the harvest and getting rid of stuff we don't need. You can place grains on your altar. That's something I do all the time. In my in the Egyptian part of my altar up here. Hold on. Before I hang on. Nope, go away. And I always have a lapis stone, and this is the grains for my offering for the Egyptian part of my altar up here. Is always lapis and grains for that. But I, you know, very often will put grains on the regular part too. So I have my wheat. I have my wheat dollies, which I have not made a corn dolly yet this year, although I'm hoping to be able to do one. I have the stones that I pulled out for Lughnasadh this year specifically. And then just, you know, like I have candles with wheat in them. I can't really see, but this one has wheat in it too. Braid leeks and chives. There you go. My cornucopias, they come out. I have a couple leaf candles, and I have a couple corn candles that always come out for Lughnasadh. My cauldron, which will have, it depends. It might have berry juice this year. It depends on if I can get blackberries. And my harvest goddess. And then my horn skull here represents Lou. And salt on the God side and rose water on the goddess side. So it, you know, just depends on what, I don't have any idea what I was saying. Oh, place grains in your altar. That was one of the things. We ran out of time this weekend, but hoping to make bread. Yay. One of the things I wanted tomorrow after I get out of work, I'll be going to get my sunflowers. I always have fresh sunflowers on my altar. So yay. Tend to your garden. Make sure you're really thinking about what to harvest. You only have from now until Samhain to harvest the rest of your grains if you follow Hecate at all. So keep that in mind. October, very often, especially if you're in a warmer place, you will technically be able to harvest after that. But Hecate is a goddess that requires all of the harvesting that is done after Samhain is given as an offering to Hecate. So if Hecate is someone that you follow, yes, absolutely. I have a sickle too that I usually put on mine. You can tell the second shelf is still my fairy lamps. I haven't gotten the second shelf done, which is where my harvest stuff will be, but I do an honoring instead of a ritual. I seem to get stuck after I get started. That's okay. Dollar Tree has sunflower dinnerware. Ooh, hey. Absolutely, I'll have to go down there. Would harvest tools be okay? Absolutely, for sure a sickle. That would be great. I have one that it just has a short handle that I usually put on my altar for sure. Yep. I made stuff out of paper to decorate mine. Absolutely, for sure. Like I said, no matter what what you have, what you want, of course, we all would like to have the perfect altar. Keep in mind that my altar, guys, I have been practicing now for, how old is Joey? For 17 years or so. And it has taken 17 years for me to acquire some of the stuff that If follow became you can donate after Samhain. If okay, if you're saying yes, donate to your harvest after Samhain. Yes, absolutely. Usually, if you donate to an animal shelter, that's okay. Otherwise, I try to leave it someplace where I know that the animals will be able to get to it. Kitty, what? Cat won't stay off my altar. Knocked over my ammonia jar spell. Oh no! Oh, that's yucky. Hulu for sure. This is my first time celebrating this Sabbath. Yay! It's so exciting putting the altar together. When I saw the sunflower stuff, I was super happy. That's awesome. So, just understand, guys, like I said, this is 15 years of gathering supplies and stuff for the Sabbath. Ugh, great, now it broke. This is not something that I did overnight. If you don't have anything, you can go and get a birthday candle from your local grocery store, light a birthday candle, and pick up, an acorn from outside, a pine cone from outside. There are weeds outside of my house, I know, that look like wheat, even though they're not. I have brought them in the house and made them to look like wheat. There are all kinds of, yes, thrift stores and flea markets are your best friends for sure. Most of the stuff on my altars I have gotten from thrift stores. I do not buy stuff new. The only exception to that, yes, 99-cent box of Jiffy corn muffin, exactly. Or pre-popped popcorn. When you get the little, their little corn kernels, put that in a jar, put a white candle in the middle of it, and that looks like harvest. There is a ton of things that you can do for very little money when you're starting out that look beautiful, that I still use today. The only thing that on my altar that I didn't get from a thrift store, I think right now, are some of the statuary. The middle statue there on the second shelf, I didn't get that from the thrift store, although that was a gift. The Sekhmet on top, I did not get that from a thrift store. But the rest of the statuary on top, were either gifts or I got it from the flea market. The Harvest Goddess, flea market. The skull that I use for my horned god now, flea market. The corn or the wheat, the little wheat dolls, thrift stores. The little cornucopias, thrift stores. My corn candles, which I never light because I like them so much and I don't know if I'll ever find corn candles again. Absolutely. Yes, I can do the Egyptian holiday. Absolutely. I've been meaning to do that for a couple holidays in a row now. And I just haven't gotten to it, so I apologize. But I will get to that for sure. Most of the stuff that I have, though, Pat's on his way home and got, oh no, Blue's tire right in front of him. Oh my goodness. No one is injured. Oh, good. Well, that's good. Go take care of things, Shauna, and give him a hug for us. Tell him we love you. I saw a great statue at Savers, but we are about to move. See, all the time. Red and gold crystals and stones are great for the altar. Absolutely. Do you carry the theme of this Sabbath into your daily practice during the time between Sabbaths? Yes, absolutely. I will. Now, I have heard people will not. Sorry, Mike. I'm going to hold this because it fell and it's annoying. I need to get a new tripod. Anyways, I have heard people that will not change their altars until the day of the Sabbath or the day before the Sabbath. I feel like it's a personal preference kind of thing. When I start to feel like I'm getting excited for the next Sabbath and I'm starting to plan for the next Sabbath, I start to switch my altar over to the next Sabbath. That is completely up to you. There are some people, like I said, who will not change their altar over until the day of the Sabbath, and that's okay too. I know for me, I would rather have it a little bit before, especially when you get to Sabbaths like Samhain because when Samhain comes, by the time Mabon is over, I'm like, yay, let's get all my skull stuff out. But that's just me, you know. However you feel, when you start to feel that emotion of that next coming up Sabbath, then start switching your altar over. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can do it a little at a time. Perfect. I absolutely love Lughnasadh. It's one of my favorites because I know that the summer heat is starting to go away. But absolutely. All right. So because I was wondering when it's appropriate to change the altar. Whenever you start feeling that energy. There you go. My Yule altar stays up till right before Ostara. That's fine. Absolutely. Now, for me, the Yule altar stays up till usually about mid-January. And then I start to really kind of feel Imbolc because there's nothing Yule going on. It's, you know, kind of the letdown after Christmas. And then once the letdown after the Yule season comes, I keep up, or I start putting up my Imbolc stuff. I have Litha set up for the longest of any Sabbath. Absolutely. Because, you know, especially around here, we don't really feel like it's first harvest time until a little bit later usually. But there is absolutely no stupid question for sure. Yep. Absolutely. You can make corn husk dolls. Yes, as a matter of fact, I put off a sheet. I'm going to post it. You can't see that. I'm going to post that onto the group so that you can all see. Is that right side up? Yep. So you can all see how to make a corn husk doll. At least it'll give you an idea. Only if it will actually, come on, focus. There you go. So that way, hopefully, I'm not shaking enough. You can actually pause it if you want to see it. Terrible. All right. That's okay. Absolutely, that's fine. All right, guys, I'm going to get going because I still have to do my Lou video at some point tonight. My darn phone. But make sure you hit the like button for me if you can, because it does help to distribute to more people, apparently. That's fine, Lee. Absolutely. And a lot of people do that. Because they only have, like, you have one goddess and one god statue, and you have one pentacle, and that's absolutely fine. And then you just put, you know, a little corn cob on there or a little whatever to represent the Sabbath on. That's okay too. Yay, hand fastings. There's a big, Lughnasadh is a good time to do hand fastings because that's also, there's so many different stories about Lou, and this time there's also a story about Lou getting married at this time, and that Lughnasadh was a celebration of his wedding too. So a lot of people do hand fastings. Oh, good, Violet. Well, welcome. I'm glad to have you. If you are interested in being on our Facebook group, you can take a look in my About page and click on the Facebook link. And that will bring you to our Facebook group, which, you know, we try to help each other out as much as we can. Forgot to ask, and hopefully you didn't answer, is there any specific goddess for Lughnasadh? The goddess for Lughnasadh really is just the goddess. You know, it's kind of the goddess that incorporates one and all. There isn't a specific goddess at Lughnasadh. It's not like, you know, Brigitte is a goddess for later on, and there are certain goddesses later on, but for now it is really just the incorporating goddess of all. Okay, all right, guys, I love you. Have a good night, and I will see you tonight for the Lou video, although it'll just be an upload, and tomorrow for another edition. So more Gaia or Mother Earth? Sure. Absolutely. Bye-bye, guys.